Hello everyone, my name is Mathieu Payn and I'm happy to present to you my talk about critical thoughts around computational thinking. During my studies I had a course about computational thinking and this talk resumes my reactions to it and the discussion we never had at this time. The content of this talk is first some definitions that are important to understand the topic. Then I will present the perspective from which I will tackle this topic, the point of view. And then we'll go inside the topic with 4 hook points I selected for you. And criticism without a positive aspect will taste too bitter, so there will be some answers for moving forward. And finally, a discussion, and just to make sure that there is a bibliography available to go further on it. So let's begin with the beginning. What does a computer do at its core? It's quite simple. It computes, it calculates, and these videos show a small and low-level program that computes 3 minus 2 minus 2. The program is over there, and yeah, you see that it moves numbers in memory slots, and it's only computation, numerical or logical computation, to finally get this answer, this result. All these operations will take a few milliseconds outside this demonstration for sure. To compute, a computer needs a basis. Which one? That's the binary base. We humans calculate in base 10, and that's the way we represent it in base 10. Yeah, that's a way to represent, store, and manipulate information. Then 14 is 1 unit of 10 raised to the power of 1. That makes 10. And 4 units of 10 raised to the power of 0. That makes 4. Many bases are possible. The base 2, the binary base, has been chosen, so can be the information stored in only 2 ways, 1 or 0. So to represent the same number 14 in base 2, we'll need 1 unit of 2 raised to the power of 3. That makes 8. 1 unit of 2 raised to the power of 2. That makes 4. 1 unit of 2 raised to the power of 1. That makes 2. And 0 unit of 2 raised to the power of 0. So with this basis, we can finally define what computational thinking is. There is a definition over there, but roughly said, computational thinking is the way to represent and design things for computers. It's a way to speak to a computer. It has been already conceptualized in the 50s, but had a giant reviving and breakthrough in education thanks to Janet Wing, who made this kind of definition. To illustrate this way of thinking may seem strange at first sight, I present to you this divide and conquer method. So that's a way to resolve a problem. Here there is a list of numbers that has to be sorted. You can see the result over there. And to do that, the algorithm split the problem in sub-problems that he finally resolves, and then he combines the solutions to give a solution to the original problem. That's quite clever. That works very well for many problems. Then the point of view. The perspective in one word is the one from the humanities, digital humanities. By one step backward, I mean 2 points. That first, there are no economical or business involvement in this perspective, but rather an existential involvement. How do I feel using the technology? How does it interact with my being? So, yeah, recentering about ourselves and the existence we lead with technology and so science as computational thinking. The second point is to refuse the frenetic pace of technical development that's called progress. And secondly, there is a holistic approach. By holistic, I mean taking into account all dimensions of a situation, fact, or process. So not only the technical one, but the social one and epistemological one. By social, I mean that's because that's a main property of human beings. And you can think about the zoon politikon from Aristoteles. He's stating that a human being is a social animal. Then two barbarian words, epistemology and ontology. Just to know what is it about. It's quite abstract. Huh? Epistemology concerns is science and knowledge. It's asking the validity of a knowledge. It's asking the context of a knowledge, and on which paradigm is the science based. That's often hidden and unrealized and latent. Ontology is another part of philosophy that has for object the being as a being. Just like that. It studies the general properties of a being, and sadly I couldn't find any illustration to it, but you will see there's very abstract questions gain consistency on the next slides. Alright, so 4 topics, there could be many others, but let's begin with a first point that may seem superficial at first sight. We use computer language, expressions, and images to describe entities that are completely foreign to this field. Here we're speaking about brain, the ecocide, capitalist ecocide, and the answer to it should be a human bug. There should be something in our heads that prevents us from thinking about our living environment. But this author, Sébastien Boller, that's an example, illustration. You can find many other on Amazon. This guy doesn't seem to know the ideology. Marx and Engels demonstrated very well the impact of capitalist ideology in the destruction of life 150 years ago, and it's still current. And that's a more valid explanation to what happens to us and our surrounding than trying to find a human bug and fill a ticket about it. Then come back to the binary logic, 0 and 1. That's the way a computer thinks. That's quite easy for a human being to take this thinking and for himself. That's called a dualistic thinking. This dualistic thinking can be added a moral content that will be a Manichaean thinking. So we are speaking about good and bad, us and they, good cop, bad cop, etc. And there is a probabilistic logic that could be seen as a savior for this problematic. It provides some finesse, but in fact, it only allows the deepening of a binary logic by adding an infinite of grays between black and white. Then functionalism. That's a paradigm saying that a program is defined exclusively by its function. This point of view can operate a huge reduction of human capabilities and diversity by saying that a brain is it's like a computer and a computer is like a brain. It had both insights for artificial intelligence historically in the past, but it faces ontological barriers. A human brain is no computer, and vice versa. But then you can think of many illustrations in your life. Here there are two articles that are stating a functionalism paradigm in the way of thinking. Finally, another author, a German author, about Christian religion. For him, it's really important to study the relationship between humans, and this relationship is in fact mediated by the personality of God. And then the relationship is not direct, and you know how many atrocities humans have perpetrated in the name of God, or nevertheless the Christian God. And this criticism can be taken on the science that has been made by Nietzsche, but technology or any new implementation of science and technology. Then the indirect relationship between human beings still continues. Any new technology implementation is praised as a solution for human interaction or human interaction related problems, but that doesn't work this way. Here, one more time, two funny articles about two technological new stuff, let's say this way. But then, what kind of solutions can we bring to overcome this challenge? First one is a method developed by John Fast and Kevin Walker, and it's called de-computation. It's using computational thinking tools and methods in the design process, and that's a kind of deconstruction posture that is really interesting. Hope you will have a look. Then a small quote about contemplation. Yeah, that's a way to break points towards a technical society. And meditation, drugs, philosophy, working, there are enough means to contemplation. Another quote for another French philosopher, Gilbert Simondon. He's advocating for an extension of the culture in the technique. By that, he highlights two different historical relationships to technology. The one of the craftsman, that is concrete, practical, and the one of the engineer, overbearing, he's making a product. And Simondon is asking for a social relationship between human beings and technological artifacts. That was quite a time ago. I'd be happy to hear designers about this point. So for the discussion, I prepared some questions, but I'm looking forward to hear from you and listen to the reaction this talk has emerged. Many thanks to the organizers of Reclaim Futures. I had fun working on this talk. That gave me space I could not find at the HEC faculty to think further and deeper. Thank you.